from a car engine oil maker, let's go to a car maker.
Well, that's right. Hyundai Motor India. That's the next management on the show. Remember, the auto major reported a mixed set of numbers. The revenue growth came in healthy, but margins did miss, and volumes have largely been flattish. We have with us Mr. Tarun Garg, the MD and CEO of Hyundai Motor India, who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Garg. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Well, in January, the volumes rose by close to 12%, with the highest ever monthly sales. Could you tell us how is Q4 shaping up so far?
I think it's a very, very positive sign, and we can see positive momentum everywhere. Thanks to GST 2.0, we saw October to December quarter also a lot of retail momentum. And what happened was, because we were able to make space in the network inventory, so January also started on a very positive note. And we are seeing a growth across segments. For example, Aura clocked the highest ever sales. The new venue has received a great response, almost 80,000 bookings and the highest ever sales again. Creta continues to be very strong. So I think we can be much more positive about Q4. I don't really like to put a number to it, but as things stand now, the momentum seems to be very strong.
Right, Tarun, but most brokerages, they've raised their PV industry outlook, especially post the recent volume up move that has happened. What's your own estimate for the industry, not particularly for you? What's your own estimate for FY27?
In fact, now we are already at the end of FY26, and it's better to talk about even FY27. And we had a SIAM conclave where all the auto OEMs were present, and consensus was about 5 to 6% growth for the industry. I'm sure as Hyundai will like to beat that. And like I said, the year has started, the calendar year has started on a very positive note. And we believe that because the growth is everywhere and the maximum growth is coming in the compact SUV segment, where the new venue has received a great response. And we are looking at avenues to increase the production further because we have a great backlog of orders. So I think we can really sustain this kind of momentum going forward in fiscal 26-27 also. And as we already announced in the Investor Day, our new model cycle has already kicked in with the venue, and more models will come in. I think all that should help us to carry this momentum to the next fiscal.
Mr. Garg, you reported an increase in realization of around 3%. I assume you've taken a price hike. If you could give me some clarity on that particular aspect.
So yes, actually, if you see the last quarter, because in January 25, we had a price increase of about 0.7%. And obviously that effect has helped until December, October to December quarter. And obviously we had some very strong cost optimization measures. Yeah, as you know, we have a very strong quality of growth strategy. Even post GST, we were very disciplined in our discount levels. Which remained less than 3%. So all in all, I think all these factors have helped us to kind of have a growth in EBITDA margins and a growth in top line as well as in bottom line. Exports also helped. We had a 21% growth in exports growth in the last quarter on a year-on-year basis. And I think export continues to be a very strong pillar in HMI's quest for volume and profitability.
Since you spoke about profitability, let's talk about the margins. So will it stay around this 11.2, 11.3% sort of band despite commodity inflation?
So look, we have already, during our Investor Day, we have already given a guidance that our EBITDA margins will stay between 11 to 14%. And we are fairly confident to meet those expectations going forward as well.
Mr. Garg, is there another price hike on the anvil?
So look, we don't want to do price hikes, and we always try to do cost optimization. So we'll watch the commodity prices, we'll see what are the pressures there, and we'll take a decision as and when required. But obviously the endeavor is always to avoid price hikes as much as possible and to do cost optimization and all the other measures, in terms of saving cost or localization or the trim strategy, the quality of sales strategy. So I think that will continue to be our endeavor going forward as well, unless it becomes imperative to pass on some of the, cost to the customers. But let's see. I mean, we will watch the commodity prices. The volatility is so high. You have seen how things are moving, especially precious metals and all. So I think we need to have a close watch on that.
Okay, all right, Mr. Garg, exports has been a growth driver, and you've briefly mentioned about it in the past. Could you tell us what's the strategy with regard to exports from here on?
So look, I think as you know, that now we have a headroom because of the additional capacity in the Pune plant, and so we have accelerated on the exports. We are HMC's hub outside of Korea for the emerging markets. The new venue is produced exclusively in India. I think this will present some really new opportunities for us. Middle East is doing very well in exports, Latin America as well. Now, so far, of course. Exter, it was only RSD. Going forward, we will see in case we can have the LSD, and which can again help us, going forward in terms of increasing exports. New model cycle is kicking in. So we look at all those models also, helping us in exports. And in the midterm, all these FTAs are also very exciting, and we still need to go through the details, India, EU, whether there is any opportunity there. So I think we'll be very, very open and positive. I think the demographics of India and a very strong structure for our plants and a very high level of quality, puts us in a very, very good position to continuously look for opportunities for increasing exports. And Hyundai has been very strong in India in terms of exporting. Since the time we set foot in India, on a cumulative basis, we still hold the position of being the #1 exporter. And I think last 12 to 15 months, the exports have been a great driver. Already we have announced that from the current level of 23 to 24% contribution of exports to the overall production, we intend to go to 30%. So the plans are very much intact, and we are fairly confident that exports will only go up from here.
All right, since you spoke about increased capacity and that helping your exports, could you tell us what your current capacity utilization is, and when do you get to this 30% contribution coming in from exports?
So if you see the current capacity is now almost 824 in Chennai and 170,000 in Pune. So 994,000 is our capacity. So we have enough capacity now. And that 30% is, of course, for fiscal 30. So that is a long-term plan to reach 30%. Current level is about 23 to 24%. And so this is where we are.
Mr. Garg, and lastly, could you talk to us about the strategy behind the foray into commercial mobility segment, sir? I mean, what are you literally driving at here? What's the aim?
So I think this is a very interesting segment, and we have seen the segment really grow, especially post-COVID in the last 3 to 4 years, when people are looking for shared mobility. So I think Hyundai, with a strong brand and very strong product, along with the CNG, factory-fitted CNG option, both in the hatch as well as in the sedan segment. So we've introduced it in January. The initial response is very, very encouraging. Like I mentioned earlier, especially in the sedan segment, that has helped us to have clocked the highest ever Aura sales, and all across, because the products are very reliable, and we have had a very comprehensive strategy. It's not only about the product. Our dealers are ready. We are tying up with the financiers. The service packages are there to give a comfort to the operators. So we are fairly confident that we will be able to make a very strong mark in this segment, where the competition is not very strong, and very few players, have a right product to tap this kind of a taxi segment.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Garg. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Wishing you all the best for the fourth quarter, and we look forward to chatting up with you rather soon.